can now look at it and let us know what it works. You might also want to ask them for their pre-market and post-market validation to let us know how viable it is, and also if they passed it through health experts and nutrition experts to know if the telomeres program actually was successful. Next organization you want to write to is the National Biosafety Management Agency, who received the documents from the Institute of Agricultural Research and reviewed it, and they are here to confirm if what I'm saying is correct. They received documents from IAR and reviewed it, and because their responsibility, they're a biosafety organization, you should understand that their role is actually to check if these things are good. You know, they are to manage it. They are gatekeepers, and they are not supposed to allow everything come true. So let us find out from them, you know, where are your documents? When you reviewed this, we would like to look at your research papers, because we believe that there are researchers and academicians in their organization. We want to look at their research papers. We want to look at their notes. We want to see what they read and what they reviewed in the organization that made them approve this program to be successful. And like she rightly said, some of these things were approved on Workers' Day, May 1, when everybody was supposed to be at home. Why so? So you might want to ask them for the documents they received, that they reviewed, and you might want to look at it logically and then begin to know what you're doing. Then there's another organization that you might want to write to. They were responsible, I think, they held this organization. They held this in Ibadan. It's a very long acronym. I would no IITA. It's it was at their 33rd annual naming event. I need my laptop to read out that name, please. You know, so they want to let me have that. It was at that event that the telomeres program was, they said it was excellent for human consumption. We also like to ask them what they read, what they reviewed. It was at the National Committee on Naming, Registration and Release of Crop Varieties, Livestock Breed and Fisheries. The acronym is NCNRRCVLF. You see, I'm justified that I had to consult documents. And headed by Professor Olusoji Olufajo, who granted the approval at the 33rd meeting of the National Center for Genetic Resources and Biotechnology, and that is NACGRAB, that held in Ibadan. You know, so let us ask them also, what documents did you review? What research papers did you check to certify that telomeres is viable for consumption here in Nigeria? These things are very important that we review, because I personally, if you notice, I haven't had a session here. I personally, I am I'm linking the commercialization of telomeres with the destruction of the maize market in Mango Village in Plateau State. Happened about the same period. I mean, why would the largest maize market in Nigeria, predominantly organic maize, go up in flames with all sorts of names? You call it religious crisis and all sorts, and then over 436,000 tons, metric tons of maize goes, and then very next week, the prices of chicken feed goes up, price of egg goes up. Then we place them that it creates pressure and demand on beef, and then the prices of beef goes up. Everything, you saw it in the news recently that all these prices have gone up. Beef is now so expensive. I saw it 2 days ago. They said there's no profit, those that slaughter and do all this market sharing. So this is how far-reaching decisions go. So this is one of the reasons why. Just a minute. Yeah. Beef sharing, right?
I'm a butcher.
Good. So this is one of the reasons why we are actually having. I chose to have my session during the question and answer, because I know I would have need to answer this. Now, why is it that it is farming regions for crops? Because January 24, I saw it, commercialization of telomeres happened 12th of January. Nobody said anything immediately. Then the next minute, we saw federal government to release some more crops, more genetically modified crops, and then the next farming areas to be attacked are the farming areas of the more crops. Just think by yourself. I'm not making it up. 3 days ago, Kajuru village was attacked. Go and check what they do in Kajuru village. If they are not all farmers, go and check all the farming regions. I'm not saying that any agency is responsible for that, but it begs the mind. We are rational beings. We should start thinking and asking the right questions. The decisions we take, how far do they reach? How far can they go? Lives are dependent on these decisions. And so in your quest for knowledge and inquest and to query what is going on, begin to think about these things. I hope I've given you enough organizations to query. If you need some international ones, well, you don't need them. Just deal with the local ones, and then, we are fine here. Thank you very much.
Sorry, please, in addition to those ones, please, you can clap. You can go ahead and clap. And in addition to the ones that he has noted, maybe still those ones, what you can also try to critique and query is the framework, the way they work. Because some of these agencies and regulators or regulatory bodies, in quote, are set up at cross purpose. You cannot be a regulator, at least best practice and best global standards. You can be a regulator and also an approver or certifier of the trade stock item. You can't, at best, regulator will regulate certifiers. The person that will approve whether a seed or a product is okay should not be the regulator. The regulator should regulate the approver or the certifier. They should give certificates to certification bodies. NAFDAC should not approve which food should be on the counter. NAFDAC is the regulator for food and drugs administration in the country. NAFDAC should give approval to certifiers, people that will come and check your organization and check your product and check your process to see that you are meeting all of the normal standards, that it is not contaminated, it is not injurious. Then the certifier will give you NAFDAC number. If the certifier gives a wrong approval, NAFDAC will punish him. But if NAFDAC is the certifier and NAFDAC gives wrong approval, who will punish NAFDAC? So some of those agencies are structured like that. They are the regulators and they are also the certifiers. They are not supposed to be. There should be a go-between, and they're not regulating in its true sense. So when you go to them, we should also be armed with that kind of knowledge as how should this thing normally work? Who are they supposed to be regulating if their mandate calls them regulators? What are they supposed to assess and certify if they are certifiers? If they are certifiers or approvers, then who is regulating them? Because somebody has to regulate them. They are not supposed to be the regulators. So we need to be clear on those kind of things. And they've mentioned, the ones they've mentioned, you have heard, it is the entire value chain. Even NAFDAC should be addressed. NAFDAC should be addressed. The Ministry of Agric should be addressed. National Agricultural Quarantine Services are also gatekeepers of some sort. They should be spoken with. What's your position on this? How do these things come in? And all of those kind of things. So the list is, it's there. You can start looking, begin to think about the global one, because they say in the Yoruba land, Bogiri Olanu, Alangba Olirayewo, as in, it is the crack in the wall that the reptile can hide inside. Thank you.
I was supposed to address a question.
Okay.
With respect to the issue of herbicides to control weeds for people who are in large-scale farming, Prof is here. He can attest to the fact that there are biological weed control measures too. I went for a training in China recently, and I saw what the Chinese are doing. The Chinese now are not using those herbicides. We also have biodegradable biopesticides. In fact, I visited a factory, a research center, a national research center in China that is for biopesticide production, research and production development. And I saw more than 100 different biopesticides that are more biologically amendable to our environment and are easily biodegradable, photodegradable, hydrodegradable, that before the food transitions from the field, the crop transitions from the field to the table for human consumption, these biopesticides and herbicides, so to speak, have been effectively degraded. Just like if you put some other things in the environment, they easily degrade. So there are viable solutions. Even some other insects, there are specific insects that the Chinese have researched that are used to control pests and even herbs. There is a particular caterpillar that they researched and promoted, developed, that eats particular weeds. So they breed that caterpillar according to, they even know how many numbers of the caterpillar per hectare. They put it on the field, and it forages on the weeds, and at the end of the day, they recover the caterpillar. In fact, if its food finishes, if it finishes the weed, it will begin to die. So these are the measures that are there. And we advise that if these measures are there scientifically, instead of investing in a technology that is fraught with a lot of questions, unanswered questions, why not invest in this technology that has less of these questions?
And we have farmers that are using it.
Yeah.
These biosafety methods, we have farmers that are using it.
At our symposium in Lagos,
Yes.
I think we would like you to visit our social media handles. We have some of the videos. At our symposium in Lagos, we had some farmers share. We had farmers share some of how they have practiced organic farming successfully, you know. And we would like you to check them out and then see that's answering the question, see what can be done. All right, so do we have any other questions, contributions? Okay. There's a hand going up there.
There is still a question. Somebody asked how to curtail the gain-centric globalization push. How do we curtail, how do we block it from having dominance in the country? Well, from the top of my head, it is government and government agencies that are the gatekeepers. They are the ones that are supposed to put strict measures in place to screen those that want to take advantage of our economy, of our food system for their own gain without, they don't balance their ambition for gain with conscience. They don't care what happens to us thereafter. All they care about is their money. So we need government policies, government agencies that will stand up for us and do those jobs. Also, private NGOs, and I'm talking about local NGOs, we're the ones that are here. Enough is enough of foreign NGOs coming in to come and be the one to give us solution, in quote, to our problems, or problems that we have been able to identify that they helped create. They helped create those problems. they come to tell you solutions that really do not work. We have truckloads of cases and examples of those kind of situations that they helped created. They brought solutions through their foreign-funded NGOs, and they've not solved. So we need to have a skin in the game. We need to have our own NGOs. We need to have our own researchers. We need to have our own breeders come up with, if Prof comes up with a GMO seed today, I'm sure we won't be having this same kind of conversation about his work. Is it that we don't have genetic engineers, people that can genetically modify seeds? We have them. We have them in our institutions. So we have plant breeders, we have livestock breeders, and we will prefer that our faith is in their hands than in the hands of our former colonial masters that are not happy with our independence. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. All right, so we want we have a contribution from. All right, so we have a word from Blessing Charles. I think she has a question, comment. Please give her the microphone.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, the organizers. Mrs. Miriam Bassi, Abadia. All right, good. All right. She's my sister, so we don't need to fight. Yes, so we are indigenous, so we have to talk like indigents. All right. You said something. You said, it's a question anyway. You said there is provision in the Act that stipulates that the agency should receive gifts. I hope you have it there, that one. And then that there is no liability and redress in the Act. Good. You also said, sorry. But I'm here to let you also know that NBMA regulates GMO. We don't promote it at all. So if NBMA regulates GMO, we also regulate NAFDA. We regulate NAFDA. So if we are regulating NAFDA, all right, the agency that promotes GMO is NAFDA and not National Biosafety Management Agency. I heard the last speaker, I think you talked about the regulatory agency. No. Yes, Mr. Sheyi, you talked about the regulatory agency. Now, my colleague, I had to tell him to put up his question. Now, if you said the regulatory agency shouldn't also be the approval agency, then what is the purpose of the regulatory body? Sorry.
Yeah.
Because if NBMA is to regulate and ensure GMOs that are safe and are considered to be consumed and to be released to the market, then it is the responsibility of the agency to give out the permit. I think I have another question. All right. Prof talked about how can someone plant rice, that a lot of people now that are farming rice, you go to the farm, lots of the rice or the farm is being destroyed because it's not GMO farm. I don't know how true that is. You said a lot of farms that are being in existence now. Or is it the corn he talked about, the maize, or rice? Okay, good. That the farms are being destroyed. The farms are being destroyed. So I would want you to tell us if other farms are not also destroyed. Because like my farm, somewhere in Kuje, I didn't farm GMO, but they were destroyed. It's about 50 hectares.
That's what we're saying. That was exactly what we said.
That's not true. That's not true. You know, we have confined, all these things that are being planted is in a confined place. And then you know that if you also put whatever barbed wire or cage, secure your farm, nobody will come in there. That's one. Then another one you talked about, you said when we farm rice or you farm corn, that are we not supposed to be watering it? Now when you plant, you have a period of time for the thing to begin to, grow and all of that. Does it mean that we farm it inside the hall where rain cannot touch it? Thank you very much.
Okay, so who goes first, please?
My
first question is no, it's a response also. Is yes, you just talked about your a farm where you practice organic farming and it's been attacked. Is there any record currently of any of the farms where GMO is being farmed? Is there any record of any attack in those farms? If there is any record, let's have it. Because I don't think there will be any record. Yes, so in those confined areas, we are aware that there are more than 100,000 hectares.
500, more than 500,000.
So, come again?
They're not fenced.
Great. So, yes, so it takes 5 minutes actually to breach a fence or less. So, if there is any case, and it's so large, so if there's any case of any breach in those farms, because we cannot just be having organic farms being destroyed, and then we just have our GMO farms just miraculously, everybody is just passing them miraculously. Nothing is going on there. They're just there, fine. It begs for questions. So I just wanted to bring that up very quickly. So you can get back to us and then we can get to know and then we can talk about it. So we can also put in the news that GMO farms are under attack. So yeah.
Thank you.
So, that's what I wanted to bring up. Thank you.
Thank you. God bless you. So that doesn't need too much buttressing. You asked about who a regulator is in essence. Okay, the good example that comes to mind right now is CBN. CBN regulates the practice of the financial institution. And CBN is not a deposit money bank. CBN will not ask you to come and open an account with it. It gives license to operators, to GT Bank, to everybody else, to carry out the business of banking. And CBN regulates them. So CBN is not in the market looking for customers with GT Bank or Zenith. If the operators in the financial institutions that have been licensed do anything that is wrong or against the policies or the operational manual, they will be called to order, they will be sanctioned. But CBN designs how that place, that industry works. It's very simple, right? So for all other government agencies, I am saying that quite a number of them don't work that way. Quite a number of them are the accreditors, and they are also the regulators. And they are not accrediting or regulating anybody. They are doing the jobs that the accreditors are supposed to do. I don't think you are exempted from that misnomer. It is not the doing of those agencies or organizations. It is just a general practice that, has slipped. Because this experience came to light years back when foreign organizations, foreign markets will refuse our commodities from Nigeria, even though they have NAFDAC approval. You bring your goods abroad, they see NAFDAC approval, they don't recognize it. Why? Because there are protocols that NAFDAC should also subscribe to that can make them speak the same language with regulators in other countries. Part of those protocols demands that there should be a regulator, there should be certification bodies separate from the regulators for the industry to be transparent. So when those countries see your products and see NAFDAC, it is like a ISO certification rule that there should be regulators, accreditors, and clients. They know that NAFDAC doesn't have anybody correcting it, and it is still the same one acting as accreditor or certifier.
All right, thank you.
It's not supposed to be.
Thank
so
you.
That's what we're saying. Your organizations too probably will need to be checked.
We don't have so much time. So, all right, so, yes, there's a question directed to her that she needs to respond to.
You answer, but I just want to say that we need to round up because we have just about 6 minutes to leave this place.
Okay. I mean, my sister asked me a question, and I need to answer.
You want to use roundup?
Excuse. I'm going to read out the provisions to you directly, since, it's not, I like it when people ask me this kind. She's really my sister. She's making my job easy. Section 10, sub 1, sub D of the Nigerian Biosafety Management Agency. Section 18. Let's go if you have it. I don't know if you have your act there. Section 18 says the agency is setting itself to receive gifts and to be, like what we said, Section 18 sets out the conditions under which the agency may accept gifts, even if the terms and conditions are consistent with the agency functions under the Act, that they can take gifts from any, under Section 18 sub 1. And then Section 10 sub D, the composition of the board consists of NAFDA, the people they are supposed to regulate. Have you ever seen that? This is your agency, this is your act. You said you are regulating that. They are in your board. They are a board member. How do you regulate your board? That is, how do you regulate that? This is Section 10 sub 1 sub D. Go there. Section 18 says you can receive gifts. We don't want to know what kind of gifts you can receive. Then before, I want to close on this note. In 2019, we actually called your organization out. And I want to show people this. You were having the 4th National Biosafety Conference, which was hosted. And do you know who was sponsoring a biosafety conference? It was the Open Forum on Agriculture, OFAP. OFAP is a key group promoting GMOs in Nigeria and in Africa. They have been so clear in their message. Visit their website, and you will know they mean GMO business. Another person that sponsored a biosafety meeting was African Agroecology Technology Foundation, AATF, another organization actively promoting GMOs in Africa with heavy support from Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, USAID, Syngenta, etc. Another person that promoted that program was the Biosafety Systems, Washington, D.C. In their website, they said they support partner countries in Africa and Asia in responsible development and use of biotechnology managed by the International Food Policy Research is IFPRI. PEP works with countries interested in using biotechnology to enhance agricultural innovation. What is NAMA doing with these people? Just like you have a wife, why is she hobnobbing with your enemies? Why are you sleeping with the enemy? NAMA, my sister, Idugofo is NAMA. Then we have called on NAMA out. We called NAMA out. This is 2019. Go to my Facebook. We called them out on Facebook and on Twitter. They quickly removed OFAP and ITF. My grandmother will always tell me, if you are doing something wrong, you don't have to hide it. NAMA have been up. In fact, NAFDA controls, they call the shots. You listen to them. They are on your board. It's there. I'm not the one that wrote it. You guys, wake up and smell the coffee and do the writing. Go back and remove and, in fact, repeal all those permits. And we can. You're my sister for life. That the things your agency is doing, you are not helping Nigerians. Your law is set up to promote biotechnology, not to regulate it. You are a promoter, not a regulator. With these few points of mine, I hope I have fully convinced you that you are a regulator. Thank you so much, my sister. I love you.
Okay, so we invite Prof to wrap up, please. Prof.
Can I give my final statement? My closing statement. It's just a sentence. It's not going to be so long.
Even 4 sentences.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We look forward to, personally, I want to believe that your organization is open to future interactions with us. I want to believe that your organizations are open to future interactions with us, and we would like to request openly now, from your organization, the research papers are earlier mentioned to the gentleman. We're requesting now, we'd like to request all your documents under the Freedom of Information Act that was used in approving teller maize as safe, and every other document possible, BT cutting, everything, and even the documents that were reviewed to approve the importation of the 7 current, if there are more, I don't know, but from the news, we see there are 7 companies were granted license to import genetically modified crops, or sorry, genetically modified substances in this country. We'd like to see all those documents and review them, and then we're open to future engagements with your organization. Thank you very much. Just a word.
Also, you mentioned that the GMO seeds are being cultivated in a confined environment now. So please, when you are giving them the what he has requested for, also furnish us the data you have gotten so far from this experiment. Thank you.
Thank you.
We invite you to wrap up, please. Prof.
Yes. I'd like to thank, first of all, I'd like to thank the management, beginning from the Honorable Minister, Attorney General, and Honorable Minister, for granting us the opportunity to use this venue, and the entire staff who are responsible for managing this hall, for giving us this good reception that we have enjoyed for the past 2 days. I want to thank you for coming to participate in this, and particularly I want to extend SEPSA's appreciation to the National Biosafety Management Agency for honoring our invitation for this second day. We appreciate an open conversation, and we have initiated one. And we believe that going forward, all of you here will visit our website, sepsa.org, and the website of our partner organizations like Health of Mother Earth Foundation, HOMEF. Their website also has rich materials that can benefit you to get more education about these things. And also, remember that we are all partners in progress to make Nigeria's food and agricultural products safe for the consumption of Nigerians, such that we would not be tagged as the rogue scientists or rogue regulators who are promoting, willy-nilly promoting unsafe products in our country. Remember, when we are talking about genetically modified organisms, there is a concomitant influx of chemicals. And I can tell you, I have the authority by certification to tell you about chemicals. They are not your friends. I've studied them, I have worked with them in the lab. And they are influx into this country because of the poor regulation. NBMA, listen, because of the poor regulatory frameworks, anything sells into this country. And we are sounding an alarm. SEPSA is sounding an alarm today that genetically modified organisms that are being approved, left, right, center into this country, we promote and the multiplication of the volume of pesticides, herbicides that will further come into this country. And we think that is not safe for Nigerians. And we call on all regulatory agencies of government to partner with SEPSA and our allied organizations to make Nigerian food and agricultural output and the environment safe for all Nigerians. Thank you. We look forward to future engagements with you. And thank you, and thank you, and thank you. God bless you.
Thank you so much for your time. Please, a beautiful round of applause for ourselves. Thank you so much. Please, I think we should clap hands for ourselves for sustaining this conversation to this moment. Thank you. So on behalf of CEFSA and all our partners, we want to thank you for having this beautiful engagement. And then we hope that in future, we are going to sustain this, which we're already doing. And so, I want us to know, just a moment, just before we close, I want us to know that we are all partners. We are partners. We are partners. No one, you don't love Nigeria better than myself. We all love this country, and we want to see this country grow. We want to see that certain things that wants to destroy this country, we want to put an end to it. And that's why we are all here. So I want to thank you once more for coming. Please, may we rise up as we take the national anthem as we close.
Please tell them we're taking a group picture.
Please, at the end of the national anthem, please let us come this side for the national anthem. Thank you. For picture, please. Yeah, for picture. Please, are we ready? Okay, at the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, go.
Direct in love and honesty to grow and living just and true. Great love the heights attained to build a nation where peace and justice shall reign.
No GMO style.
All right, let everyone come to the podium for a group picture. First,